Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, or in some cases, good night, good late night for some of you. Wherever you are and whenever you are, welcome to the community live stream. My name is Chuck Tomasi from ServiceNow, Senior Developer Advocate. Been with the company for about 10 and a half years and customer for a couple of years before that. Our topic today, because this is November 23rd, 2020. If I check my calendar right, yes, it's the 23rd, 2020. Our topic today is data lookup tables. This is something that one of my previous bosses was just fanatical about. This is his favorite feature in the platform. It is great to see everybody on the YouTube channel. Of course, if you're on YouTube or you're watching later, go over to youtube.com/user/ServiceNow community. Subscribe, like, click that notification button. You know what to do. Leave a comment if you've got a comment. Of course, we always encourage deeper comments on off-topic things that are not related to data lookup tables. Please put those in the ServiceNow community. Wow, they got the comments are just flying by today. Thank you to everybody who's joining live. This is a lot more fun when it's done live, and a lot more fun when all the technology is working. So I am one computer short of a full setup in here. That's not a metaphor for something. It is. We are working with what we've got today. Hope you enjoyed the new countdown screen. I finally finished that widget and can put configurable backgrounds in the placement of that just for fun, to give you a little lead in of what's happening, and also the intro music, kind of like when you go to a conference and you're filing into the main keynote stage and they've got that music playing. So it allows you to get the notification a little earlier that, hey, this is live, and you go into kind of a waiting room. And then it also allows me to validate that the feed is working. So if there's any technical issues, we can work them out ahead of time. So we'll look forward to that in the future. Thanks for bearing with me as we learn and we grow and we change. That's YouTube. We also do this on Twitch. Hopefully that's simulcasting over there. I can't check that live, but I am watching YouTube live. So thanks for joining me there. You can find that on Twitch. If you've got any questions, as I mentioned, that go beyond data lookup tables, please go into the community at community.servicenow.com. That is, well, aside from an update that just decided to come up behind me, that's what's behind me, is the community at community.servicenow.com. Slight mess up in my notes. I missed the step that said, put the community on the screen, right? Well, you know, that's what happens when you do it live and there's only one person in the production that's doing all this. So again, thanks for bearing with me, and thanks for being here. It certainly is a lot of good time. Community.servicenow.com. Also want to invite you to go over to developer.servicenow.com. You can find all kinds of good information. If you are just getting started on the platform or you're an old pro like me, there is something for you over there. API references are there, free personal developer instance, free learning plans, grow, learn, become a better developer, blogs and videos, and we are just making it better and better. We have lots of ideas to continue to grow and improve in 2021. So thank you again for joining us. Wow, smiley faces. Thank you, chat. It's good to be here. I did a lot of live streaming yesterday with T. Morris, my co-author on Podcasting for Dummies. So I'm picking up tips from the man as I go forward. So hopefully you'll see we're all learning and growing and having a good time. So Developer Portal is where you want to go. One of the things that you will find there as well is, if I can get this up in time, is the meetups. We are doing virtual meetups right now because of the current global situation, and you can meet with other developers around the globe, really, without leaving the comfort of your own easy chair or living room or bedroom or wherever you want to watch these meetups. Attend these virtually, learn what other people are doing from Sydney to Vancouver to Pune. They're all over the place. It's a wonderful experience to be able to share this with other people. Hello from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Top Gunner, thanks for checking in. 1 year newly minted CSA. Congratulations. A lot of people have been proudly showing their CSA and their implementation specialists on LinkedIn. I try to thank as many of them as I can and congratulate. That is wonderful. Thank you for being part of that communication, part of that community. Thank you for all the accolades that you got on there. A lot of great people over there. Developer meetups, more great people there. Quick reminder, we do have Breakpoint, our developer podcast. If you haven't listened to that, we are releasing another episode this Wednesday, the 25th of November, a discussion, a conversation with Tim Woodruff, one of our developers in the community on the Slack channel, does a wonderful job. We also are following that up with a discussion with Josh Narius, former developer advocate, and now in charge of a lot of things Integration Hub on the product management side. So a lot of things in the pipeline for Breakpoint. Audio podcast only, so no demos, no PowerPoints, no update sets. And makes it easy to consume, whether you're driving to work, if you still do that kind of thing, or you're cutting the grass, or you're trying to rock the baby to sleep at night. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find it at wherever you find your podcasts, Amazon, Google, Apple, Spotify, you know where it is. Just look for Breakpoint. It's going to be the green one without the tennis ball, because Breakpoint is also a tennis term, unfortunately. You kind of get the idea. We're making our way through that. Oh, what else do we have to tell you about upcoming Tech Now webinar? bit.ly/TN82reg. Had a message this morning. Somebody said, hey, I'm having problems with the registration page. If you have problems with the registration page, it is 99.9% likely that it is an ad blocker. That happens to me. That happens to a lot of people. So check your browser settings. Temporarily disable your ad blocker for that page, because it will come up with mandatory fields but nothing in the drop down, or maybe somebody else's settings. It'll just behave strangely, like you would not expect. Turn off your ad blocker for that page. Guarantee you there's nothing nefarious going to happen to you there. bit.ly/82reg, bit.ly/TN82reg, December 15th. I want you there. Sign up now. Learn all about instance data replication. The easiest way I know to move and synchronize massive amounts of data between two instances without cloning. Craig Stepp will tell you what it's good for, what it's not good for, how to set it up, all that kind of stuff. Even some of the down and dirty little tricks. So thank you, Drew, for the endorsement on the podcast. I'm going to move on. There's no code today, so we won't be talking about our GitHub repo. Well, actually, quickly, there have been scripts that have been written in previous episodes. So if you've watched Community Livestream in the past, you can find all of our code snippets there, but we will not be doing any of that today. If you want to grow a little bit more and learn a little bit more about scripting, JavaScript on the Now platform, you can go watch the web series we put together a little while ago. Thank you, everybody, for your recommendations on that. I'm really eager to get the next series started, published really soon. Really soon. It's coming. It's coming. It's close. I'll have to put up a new slide for that. I don't even have anything ready for that. bit.ly/sn-learn-js is where you can find that. Okay, let's get on with our topic du jour. That's French for topic of the day, I think. Martin also says, yeah, the registration page is also weird. The formatting goes away. And I have a bit of a green screen thing going on. That was weird. Okay, I think my black clipping is just a little off, so you may see some artifacts around me. It has to do with the darker shirt and the camera settings, and we won't get into that right now. Okay, topic today is data lookup tables. What are they? What are they good for? Well, there are times when you want to do an automatic lookup for something like an assignment, or you may have seen this on the priority, where you set the impact and the urgency, and magically the priority is set, even though it's a read-only field. How is that done? It's not done via script. That's the way the priority lookup was originally done. Actually, the original one, when I started with a customer back in 2008, was hard-coded. It was literally a script that said, you know, if impact is this and urgency is that, then we'll set the priority to that. That is the brute force way of doing a lot of things, and I don't encourage you to do that, because somebody is going to say, you know what, we need to change it, not impact 1 and priority 2, or impact 2 and priority 3, urgency 3. The rules change. People change their mind. You need a quick and easy way to modify this as data. Data-driven design, I've said this plenty of times before, is going to be your best way to increase the velocity of your development and decrease the maintenance you do on any given implementation, configuration, customization, application in the future. So data-driven design, always keep that in mind. You will be farther ahead 2 years from now. Trust me on that, says the man of nearly 40 years of development experience and making plenty of mistakes along the way. So if you just want something like incident priority based on impact and urgency, or assign a group or assign a person based on a category or subcategory, this is a great way to do it. Data lookup tables make this extremely easy to build and maintain. Okay, that's what we're looking for as developers. Fast, 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 easy, easy, easy. less work later, right? So let me give you a quick example of what that looks like. You may have seen this before, but if you haven't, if you're new to the platform, this is how it's done. I'm going to go to the incident table, and I will take a look at some open incidents. See if my cursor pointer is still working. Yes, it is. Okay, now I can point around the screen. And I think my little double tap zoom is going to work as well. Right now, I've got over here, click, click, there we go. I've got impact 1, urgency 1, priority 1. And if I change this to medium, it's automatically flipping that priority, even though it's a read-only field. It's doing something in the background. This is not scripted. I mean, there may be script somewhere that the system is running that I don't care about. But all of this is configurable. If A and B, then set C. Okay? Or even just a single field. If A, then B. Okay. Easy to do. Let's go see how that's done. Well, step 1 is over on, if you do data lookup, we have data lookup definitions. Yes, I changed something I want to leave. Let's look at this priority lookup right here in the center. And I did click it, did I not? Let's try it again. Waiting, 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 take a sip of tea. Here we are. Okay. This is the source table. Let's take a closer look at this. I've got a name, just a quick way to reference this from a list. I tell it what the source table is, where is the data coming from. That's going to tell me where my fields are being set. The matcher table, I'm going to define this. This is critical because this isn't just something that is on the system already. You need to create this if you're creating a new lookup table. So we'll get to that in a second. Over on this side, we have some various settings. Yes, it's active. Do you want it to run or not? That's basically what that says. Do you want it to run dynamically when the form changes? Is a client-side component involved with this to watch for changes and update it dynamically? Or are you just going to, if the fields aren't on the form, then you don't need this, right? If priority didn't display and it was just something in the background, you could leave this off and save yourself a little bit of processing. Run on insert. Do you want to run this for new records? Yes, we do for impact, urgency, priority situation, but you may not necessarily need to. You may not necessarily want to. Maybe fields aren't applicable or are set at this point. So just like a business rule, determine when you want this to run. New records and or existing records. Let's look down here. This is where the real fun begins. We have our matcher set definitions. I am going to define what my source table field or fields are, in this case, impact and urgency, and the matcher tables. Now, they look like they're exactly the same. They are two different fields on two different tables. They don't have to have the same names. In this case, they do. I often do as well. It makes it easier to debug these things. But your matcher table could apply to something else. Then we have exact match lookup. I'll get to this in just a second. I'm going to flip over to the other. This is what needs to match. This is what says when impact is 1 and urgency is 1, aha, I've got a match. What do you want to do with that? We go to the setter field definitions and we say we're going to set the priority. Okay, watch the impact and urgency, set the priority. Matcher and setter, that's what they're called. This is the definition of our data lookup definition. Make sense? When we have that, we are going to then use, this is all under system policy, the ones that are out of the box are here by default. Okay. Assignment lookup rules and priority lookup rules. They're not all there by default when you make a new one. This is where we define the rules. Okay. That's why it's called priority lookup rules. Somebody had to name this table. This contains an order in case you need priority of which way you're looking up, something, if there's a conflict or a possible duplication of rules, which one comes first. We have our setters, or getters, excuse me, our matchers. Sorry, trying to do this on live is always fun. We have our matcher. If impact is 1 and urgency is 1, then priority is 1. Okay, it kind of goes down the list this way. If it doesn't match, nothing happens. Simple as that. That's our examples. We are going to replicate this or create a new example for one of our favorite examples that is not IT related, because we may have people that are doing HR or legal or something else on the system. So I don't want to tie everything to IT. Makes a nice example to discuss, but for the demo, I'm going to use my course table, which is over here on my menu. Using the wrong pointer device again, always happens. And first thing I need to do, the rules of my engagement are going to be this. I'm going to assign an instructor based on the track. Okay, so I've got history, management, I've got liberal arts, I've got math, I've got science. So different tracks, different instructors. Okay, you come up with your own rules. This is my example. I want to go in here, and apparently I made the category dependent. Yes. Okay, that's a different video for another time. We're going to get that one on the next video, how to set this thing dynamically. But history, management has some different things going on. We're going to set it, the instructor, based on management. So right now it's not doing anything. You can see I changed from history to nothing's happening here. Let's go make a data lookup table. So step one, I'm going to do this in Studio. You can choose to go to System Definition, Tables, create a new table that way. But since this is a scoped app, I'm going to do it in Studio to keep everything together. That allows me to develop in one browser tab and test in another browser tab. So let's go get our favorite CLS 323 app, which has a whole bunch of battle scars from previous videos. And here's my course table. Don't need to pull this up for sake of exercise. I'm just doing it to show you that it's there. Everybody's happy. I'm going to start by creating a new table. So create application up here in the upper left. Table, click, click. And I will call this course instructor. Let's just call it, course instructor. That's always the hard part, isn't it? Naming your tables and fields. Definition. It's not the lookup rules, it's the definition. In fact, I'm going to call it lookup definition. Lookup definition. I'm probably going to run out of characters real soon here. 40 is the limit, and that's going to create a horribly long table name. So I'm just going to call this instructor lookup. Instructor lookup. Name your tables once. You can only name them once. You can label them anytime you want. If you have two or more lookup values which evaluate as true with different orders, which one will be applied? The one that matches first. That's what the order is for. Does it stop once the first lookup is found? Yes. Or we'll apply the last. No, we'll do the first. Maybe we'll come up with an example for that. Don't need a mobile module. I'm going to create a new module under my CLS menu. And here's the important part. I'm going to flip to the docs page for this. Here's the important part. Your table must extend DL matcher. Let me say that again. DL matcher, data lookup matcher. We're extending some functionality that already exists in platform. So DL matcher, there it is. Data lookup matcher rules. That's what's going to give us the ability to do the related list full of setters and matchers and all that fun stuff. And save. It goes and creates those extended fields for me with the source table, all the good stuff. Interesting that I've got 3 sysids in here. I'm curious to see what kind of tables those come from. Let's just take a peek because this is experimental. Let's go to table, put that on the personalized list layout, and find out why we have 3 sysids. It was like there was some kind of nuclear accident that caused that. Did I hit cancel? That was odd. Or am I just being a little slow this morning? Okay. There we go. Table, table, table. SysID, application. One's from SysMeta, one's from DL Matcher, and one's from my course table. Interesting. Okay. Fun. That's step 1. Step 2 is go and create a lookup table. Now, over here, we need to create our rules. So I am going to create the lookup table. Create table, same kind of situation. This is going to be my instructor, course instructor rules. Name, sure, whatever. CLS instructor rules. I don't like really long table names, but I do need them to be somewhat descriptive. This one does not have to extend anything. This is a standalone table. And in here, I'm going to have my, what did I say? Track, which is going to be a choice list. And my instructor is going to be a reference to, you got it, good old sysuser. Let's scroll that up so we can actually see what's going on. Sysuser. Hey, that wasn't very nice. Let's do it the other way. Type user, hit the down arrow twice, go. If you miss extending the table, can you do it later? The answer is no. You do need to do that when you create a table. And if you do extend and you want to later not extend, same kind of thing. You got to stop and recreate the table because there's all kinds of things that happen behind the scenes at the database level. Excellent question, though. You know, I'm getting ever closer to creating a new sub-series of community live stream called Back to Basics that will get to some of these really early things. I know some of this is covered in System Fundamentals course and other places, so I've got to navigate those waters so I'm not giving away intellectual property, but occasionally we need reminding of the way the system behaves and how we can do the easy stuff first. Okay, let's go with our lookup table defined. Let's go and refresh this. Reload. I'm going to go over to lookup and course instructor lookup definition. Did I not create a module? I probably did, and I don't like where it went. Darn it, probably created a new one. Instructor. Course instructor rules. Yes, Studio likes to, it gets menu happy on me. So let's go in here. I'm going to put this under the other one, which was system policy, I think. Let's find out. Application menu name, system policy. That way all of my rules are together. System, well, that was a bit verbose. Policy is my application menu. I don't really care what order it goes in right now. It also created a new role. Why you would need a new role for every table, I have yet to figure out. And save that. Then we can update this. Come on. I want to finish saving. We don't need a menu that has no modules, especially one that shouldn't have been created in the first place. I'm just doing a little cleanup at this point. And theoretically, if I go back under lookup, oh, it didn't put it in there. Fine. Let's do it the other way. If you can't find your table, you can always go here and say show list. Okay, here's my instructors, here's my tracks. I don't have an order on this. Interesting. Let's find out what happens. Something in the back of my head says I did this a little backwards. Okay. What I want is the table name. Wow, I'm all over the map on this one today. Tables, course lookup definition, course instructor rules. Give me the table name. I'm going to do it over here. Paste dot list. New. I don't like creating new records in Studio. It just feels wrong. Now my track has no choices. What I can do, and I think I showed this to you another time, is directly connect it to use the choices on the course table. So configure dictionary. I did a right click on that label, configure dictionary. And rather than duplicating the choices and saying, here's 3 choices or 5 choices. It gets really monotonous and difficult to maintain if you have the same choice list in multiple places. What I can do is click Advanced View down here. And if you haven't seen this before, it's a really great way of borrowing those choices from one table and field to the next. That way, if I change them on the course track choice list, it will change here as well. Set the table to my course table, course, and it says, here's the choice fields that are on there. Which one would you like? I would like to borrow the track field. Track and field. And now, ta-da, I have those. So if we have history, we will get Fred Luddy as an instructor. Seems like he's been around a while if we're doing ServiceNow history. Save. If we're doing liberal arts, well, let's get Don Goodliff. Say insert and stay. Don't hit save. Management, that could be Bo Ruggieri. Insert and stay. I'm just creating some lookup data here. Mathematics would be David Liu, Dr. David Liu. Insert and stay, and I think we have one more. Science. I'll take science for 100, Alex. Poor Alex Trebek passed away recently. Insert, and we've got our lookup rules. Let's go to that definition. So, lookup brings us to data lookup definitions. I don't know why I don't see my wonderful lookup definition here, but let's create a new one. We are going to do a data lookup rule. You can also do catalog data lookup rules. This was not originally there. I don't know what release, but it's been fairly recent in the last 4 years. That's recent to me, that catalog data lookups have shown up. Thank goodness. So our name is going to be course instructor lookup. The source table is our course table. The source is of course. The matcher table is going to be our lookup definition. Save. Matcher field definitions. Let's create a new one that says match the track to the track. I don't have a track on here. You know why? Because I did this a little funny. I knew something in the back of my head was off. Okay. Let's save that. I know it says active, but we're going to save that. And setter field definitions is probably not going to work as well. Set the instructor to the instructor. You know why? Because in my table definition, that one that was the extended from the data matcher lookup thing, which one was it? Extends table data matcher lookup rules. I need the instructor and the track fields here, not on that other table. Oh, I did that wrong. I knew that felt funny. Track is a choice. We learn by our mistakes. You're learning by my mistakes. It's twice as fast this way. Okay, instructor. Really, the docs page is correct. I just haven't read it today. Instructor is reference. This is on the table that extended DL matcher. And that is going to be, as I mentioned, user, down, down, go. Yep, create fields. Let's do that. Now, what we need is that track field again. Let's link that to the course track field. You can do that very easily in table definition because the field is right there. We don't need to go to the form and look it up. So, went right by it. Course and track, that way I get the right choices. Go back to, wait for it, there we are. Go back to our definition record. I'm going to discard that. Okay. On our data lookup definition, I'm going to set active, run on form change, run on insert, run on update. Save that as well. Make sure they're all checked. For my example anyway. Okay, track is going to match track. Ta-da! And when I set instructor is going to match instructor. There they are. If you didn't see them, it's because you didn't put them on the lookup definition. Always replace. I didn't get to mention what always replace is. It says, if true, a matching lookup will update the source field even if the matching field is blank. Okay, so if we get a blank, it will try and update. I'm not sure what it updates with. Maybe we'll go to an experiment with that as well. That's how we learn. We experiment. Now that I've got that, got my source table, I got my matcher table. Where does it tie to the other table? Let's go to the course instructor data lookup. Those rules. How did this get tied to that? So priority data lookup rules. Let me look at the other one. Priority data lookup rules. I'm using this as an example. This is priority data lookup, which is the DL lookup. And it says I want to match that to that, but somehow it's got to tie this in. Back to the documentation. Okay. Because where does it define the priority data lookup rules? List the combinations. Each data lookup is a query that searches for a row containing values that matches the matcher fields. The data lookup then returns the value listed in the setter fields. For example, this priority data lookup table lists the combinations of impact and urgency. That's the DLU priority. You know what? I may have missed something. Let's go back and look at, I don't know where I'm going now, not in the community. Let's go back and look at this table definition. I'll bet I defined my lookup table incorrectly. Configure table on this one. Yeah, this extends data lookup matcher rules. I had a standalone table that did not. So my second table that I created was wrong. It needs to extend data lookup matcher. So I've got, didn't we do that the first time? DL matcher? Let's look at that. That's DL matcher. Do I have 3 sysids here? I do. That's my first table. Okay, so my first table is like this first table. Where? I got it. I got it. Okay, maybe I don't need the second table. That's probably where I'm getting confused. Course, table. We're just a little off course. Get it? Okay, let's take this table, because it doesn't have any records in it right now, does it? I did all of my Fred Luddy and other stuff for no reason. I don't need that second table is what I'm thinking right now. Sure enough, look, it's got the order, it's got the active. These are the fields that I didn't create. So just for fun, I know I might regret this at some point, the course instructor rules, delete tables very carefully, children. Okay, that is not the extended table. You can do this one table is what we're thinking. Go create the DL matcher extended table, put data in it, define the rules on the data lookup definition. Let's do this again, just for fun. Instructor, Fred. He was the guy in charge of history. Sorry for that sidetrack. We didn't need the second table, apparently. Let's keep going. Instructor, David. David was in charge of mathematics. I know I'm going out of order. I'm going in whatever name comes to mind. We had Don Goodliff. Don was liberal arts. I don't remember what he was, but that's what he is now. We have Bo. Bo was in charge of management. Make sure we have one of each. Yep, and I think I got science. So Chuck is in charge of science. I'm going to go through this again just because it was really kind of insanely sideways. Apologize for that. Okay, what we did is we went into Studio, created a new table, extended it from DL Matcher. That's the critical part. Put two fields on there for our lookup and setter values. We want to look up on track. We want to set instructor. Create that table. Then back under data lookup rules, the definitions, create a new definition. This is not the table I just created. This is a system table that says, how do you want me to work? Define my course instructor lookup, which says, here's my source table. I'm going to use the matcher table that I just created. Set the matcher and setter definitions from the source table to the matcher table. Create the setter definition, source table, matcher table. Then go back and look in the table I created to set those rules. If A, then B. If A and B, then C. That kind of thing. Same way that it works. Okay, one table. I only needed to create one table. So now that we're all caught up mentally, you think it'll work? Let's go try it. I need my mouse to be a little more responsive here. It's getting stuck. Go to the course table, as if enough things weren't stuck today. And I go to Advanced Blork in the history track. Let's see if, wow, this mouse is being really, there. Liberal arts, Don Goodliff. That's pretty cool. Management. It did not update. Okay, you know what? Something is off. Why doesn't it update? If I say science and save, it should say categories mandatory. Boogers. Okay, save. It should have saved with Chuck. Something is not right on these definitions. They should change because we saw priority changed. Let's look at the, that table's gone. We can delete that module. We have a leftover here. It didn't find it. When I deleted the table, it deleted the module, but it didn't refresh the menu. Okay. So not everything works for Chuck on the first time. Course, let's go to lookup. Would it be something in my definition? Course, lookup definition. How does this compare with, let's see, false, false, update, insert, run on form change. I want to compare it against the definitions for, say, the assignment lookup. Assignment uses false, false on two groups on the setter. Whole bunch of things on the exact match lookup is all false. Run, run, run. Looks the same. Not running the same. What have we missed? Because it's not running dynamically. Course instructor lookup. Look up the track. Match to track. Exact lookup false. We have our rules. Always replace false. Oh! Change that to true. That's what it was. So back to the course table. I'm going to use my recency factor, my time machine. Go to course table. Always replace is the key to making this work dynamically like that. See how that goes? It says, I don't care what's in there. If you have a value, I'm changing it. If you have a value and it's set and you don't want to mess with it anymore, because we started with a blank value. And it said, okay, I'm only going to replace it if it's blank. So always replace says, you got a value there? If you set me to false, I'm not going to replace it if you've already got a value. I'm going to trust that. I could have come in with existing records that said, this course is already assigned to Don Goodliff. Just even if I change the track, don't reassign it. Now priority, because it's read-only, you kind of have to fix that one. You can't change it manually. So that one is going to be the same. So watch that always replace. It caught me there. It will catch you too. I guarantee it. So let's go to Asian history, save that. Fred is in charge of Asian history. That's working. Now the key to all of this is, oh look, there's my step-by-step instructions. That would have saved me a whole lot of things in my notes. You can use data lookup tables to create these lookups and sets very quickly. Probably much quicker than I did, because you don't need that second table that I accidentally created. And the catch is, excuse me, the catch is the setters and the matchers must be on the same table. Okay? You can't do any dot walking to go down and look up other fields. If you look at these that are already in the system, data lookup definitions, assignment lookup, right? The matchers, subcategory, CMDB/CI, location, category, those are all part of the incident table, of course. And the matchers, or the setters, assignment group and assign to, also part of the incident table. So be aware that if you need to do dot walking, I've got another video for that. We will look at a different way to do that, and it will involve some script. So this is a great example, an easy way to set up in record, same record, for your setters and your matchers on the same record, on the same table, how to do that without any script. Did you see me write any code today? Did not write any code today. So if you get confused, use the out-of-the-box examples and refer to the documentation pages like I should have right away. So that is going to take care of that. Join me Monday the 3rd. Let's go back to that. Join me Monday, December 3rd for Glide Ajax. There's a lot there, and I know a lot of people get stuck on this. It's why do you want to use this versus GForm, get reference versus GScratchpad. There's a whole bunch of different ways. Glide record, various ways you can get data from the client script to say, hey, server, I need some data. Okay. We're going to show that to you, explain all that information. Glide Ajax, probably one of the most common asked questions on the community is around Glide Ajax. So we're going to share that with you. So anytime somebody comes up to that, you can point them to the video that we're going to work on Monday. So can we still override the instructor even after it is auto set? Yes, that's what the always replace does for you. Always replace says, always replace. I don't care what's there right now, always replace. Good question, Pradeep. So thank you for that. And with that, I'm going to sign off, and I will see you again Monday. Hopefully, my computer will be back. There's no show Thursday. I should have mentioned that. It is a holiday here in the U.S. Thursday is Thanksgiving holiday, which is why we have to wait a whole week to get the next episode. So I'll see you again for Glide Ajax real soon. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Learn something, share something, be on the community. I'll talk to you later.